some of their old drawings. You find them under the bed or something. You can turn them into some really cute little cards. You just literally, you could probably put these on an Olfa cutter and just rip through them in no time at all. Well, tomorrow we're going to do things that are a little more woodworkery. If you've ever had a nitty-notty as a kid, we're going to make nitty-notties tomorrow. And that's basically a little scrap of wood, and we're going to drill a large hole into it, and then attach some horseshoe nails and pre-drill for them. And then I'm going to show you how to use one of those. And there's that pile done. So there's our pile with the one kind. Here's our pile, a bigger, twice as thick pile with the other one. And now I'm going to show you how to put them together. What you want is double-sided tape. The cheap stuff is good, but this one's 1/2 inch, and I really recommend that you probably get the 3/4 of an inch. And you're going to take your mat, your card, and here's the artwork. And you're just more or less going to put a piece across the top, the bottom, and the sides. If it wrinkles, don't worry. If it runs over the edge, just fold it back. It's not toss it out. Center it in there, and then we're going to do the same thing a second time. You know, I have a list of about 25 different streams to do, you know, crafty, woody things. But by all means, if you think of something that you've been wanting to learn, there's a good chance I've come across it sometime in my past, 30 years of teaching this. And just got a phone message on the husband to hit the refresh on the chat. See if we're all good again here. Husband and I are still learning to do this, so looks like we're back up again. Sorry about that. I got a phone text message from the husband saying refresh that, so I did. I get done with this one. But this is all it is. You could certainly sit down and do Christmas themed cards. You can use old wrapping paper and old Christmas cards that you've cut a square out of, just like we did the children's book, and then mount that this way using golds and reds and greens. You make Christmas cards. But it's just a neat little card, little piece of artwork, nothing to it. When I had a bulk food store years ago, I actually made a lot of these that I used the cookbooks that I had 4 or 5 copies of exactly the same book. I cut some really pretty pictures out and I made cards this way and sleeved them and everything, and $1.50 a piece, and put them up by the register as a little impulse item. They moved right along. I made like 300 of them, and when I closed the store, I don't think I only had about 25 of them to take home. They had pretty much all sold. So, hit the refresh button on your chat. I did. It's all neat. Yay! So, that's good. Kaidobi can hear me okay now and everything. Sorry about the glitch. Still learning. So we'll get a bunch of these up so people can see them now, and then we'll have we'll keep them up on the channel for a while here on Twitch, and then we'll also be adding some things over to YouTube. If you want to, I like to support teachers, so if you ever wanted to have a few samples of these to show to your students, or if you need a little help figuring it out or something, all these little projects that you see me making that are kind of crafts, not woodworking, I'm just going to be putting them away, so if they will help you teach somebody else, just let me know. We'll get them to you. I used to do a lot of consignment, but woodworking business is good, keeping me steady enough. And I've got a writing project coming up with a photographer. That's going to take up 4 hours of tomorrow. I just got the website built last week, so I won't be sitting around making piles of these cards for consignment shops. Probably around Christmas for gifts. If you end up making a lot of cards, it's a little bit cheaper to get the holder and the big rolls of the double-sided tape, but if you can catch the tape on sale, then it's not cheaper. It's better just to have the individual packages. Here's another one. See? And that's all there is to that. I think presentation is really important, so if you're going to give somebody a dozen or a half dozen cards, they look very nice in one of those little gift boxes that you get for shirts and socks and whatever. I usually try to tie a pretty ribbon around them, or an elasticized thread or something with a card. Another nice touch is, especially if you've gone through and you've done some more drawing or painting, or add your poetry or something, it's always nice to go on the back of the card and sign in what year, so that you're giving acknowledgement to your work as a professional. And that's all there is to making those. So tomorrow we will have the Nitty Knotties, and we're going to take some old-fashioned kitchen knife blocks and we're going to turn them into tool holders. And I know there was another one. Oh well, we should be able to get started by 1 or 2. I've got to do some contracted writing work in the morning out of town, and then I will come in and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.